Fellas, let me debunk this crap for you guys one more time. Because some of you guys just can't seem to get this through your thick skull. And before I jump into the video, just know that your grandparents did not have the best marriages. See, here's the thing about your grandparents, alright? Before you guys come in here and say, oh, I miss the good old days. Why can't dating be like how it used to be? My grandparents made it work. Yes, they made it work, but that does not mean that they were actually happy with each other and they loved each other. See, this is what happened. Your grandparents pushed through it because they didn't have any better options, any better chances. The society back then, the social stigma back then is definitely not anywhere near where it is today. Single mothers were looked frowned upon back then. Single mothers are praised and raised today by our society. So clearly, we can see a huge shift in how society perceives things nowadays, right? So that's the first point. They definitely didn't have cell phones, social media, dating apps. So inevitably, your grandma wasn't spreading her cheeks for every dude that walked into her life. So your grandpa had to go out and wine and dine her, tell her sweet nothings in her ears. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, Tamika. This is Chad from the mall earlier. Not Tamika. What am I saying? Tamika is a black chick's name. Yeah, Stephanie. This is Chad from the mall about 3 hours ago. How you doing? Leave me a voicemail, yeah? Or call me back. And then your grandma would pick up the phone and call your daddy or your granddaddy back, right? That's how it went. And there was a incentive to take her out on a date. Because why? Because there was a mutual agreement, regardless if that was written on any kind of document or not, that after your grandpa wines and dines her, she's going to be exclusive with only him and him only. And eventually, them getting married would have a much, much, much greater chance than we have today. And after that, the chances of her raising her kids, being a housewife and cooking and cleaning for him while he went out and brought the bacon home, had a much, much, much higher chance than what we have today. So all of that made sense back then to get married. Men had an incentive. And we didn't have these laws that we have currently in our society against us, where even if you do get divorced or separated, regardless of whose fault it is, she takes half of your stuff that she did not do anything to build. Why? Explain how that makes sense. There's been some few cases here and there where the man did get alimony from the woman and the man did get half of her stuff, but those are very, very, very few and far between. And we don't talk about those outlying cases. We talk about the majority here in this channel. And now that the stigma and the social incentive was back there in the society to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, your grandma was busy raising these damn kids anyways. Nowadays, most couples who do end up getting married and who do end up staying together only get 1 or 2 kids max. So yes, by the time the second kid becomes 18 or 20 or whatever, your mom still has 5, 6 years left on the cock carousel. Or the women still have that left. But by the time, back in those days, your grandma got done raising 5, 6 kids till the age that they were 18 and 20, your grandma was in her 60s. Or 50s, if that. So she didn't have any chance or any time left to go back on the cock carousel. And now you might blame inflation and economy for that? No, bull crap. You're telling me that now that women have joined the workforce, we still can't afford to raise kids? That's bull crap. We all know that. Women just don't want to have kids. Neither do men. Because women are now wanting to be like men, more and more men. Men didn't want to have those kids back in those days anyways. We didn't want to have that many kids. It was our women who kind of forced us, or who kind of tricked us, or they didn't have that birth control option that they have now. So women wanted to have those kids. Now that women want to act like men, they want to have that college education degrees, bullshit ass frivolous jobs. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now that they want to have that, now the career comes first before family and children for women. And men still stayed the same. We didn't want to have kids back then. We still don't want to have kids now, because we men realize that most of the financial responsibility falls on our shoulders, regardless of how much money our wife's making, because it's always been a social stigma for us men to provide for the family, regardless if the wife is making any money or not. So you guys want to have all the benefits of the 1940s while having the benefits of 2020, but we men can't have either. Is that what you're telling me? Anyway, so that goes with your grandparents' situation, right? And by the way, how do I know this, that your grandparents weren't really happy and whatnot? Because I worked with enough old people and talked to enough people to know that. If you don't believe me, why don't you go do your own damn research and stop arguing with me about stuff? Go figure it out. Go do your own homework yourself. I'm not your mother. I'm not gonna be feeding you crap. If you want answers, go find it. We have Google. We have the internet. Stop busting gallons and gallons of nuts on yourself, and stop worrying about posting booty and titty pictures on Instagram, ladies, and go do the actual research on stuff that actually matters for your future. AKA, if you are going to be looking up where to go to college for a social work degree, how much money is that really going to pay you at the end, versus how much student loan debt are you going to have? Are you going to have to get that degree? And then compare the income to debt ratio. Those are the things you should be using the internet for. Anyways, but fellas, I talked about this before, is that feminism was the best thing that has ever happened to men, and the worst that has ever happened to women. I'm just going to repeat myself again here, so listen up. Fellas, we're getting easy access to vagina right and left. They are throwing it out like frisbee. You can jump up and catch it. He can jump up and catch it. My grandpa can jump up and catch it. My dog can jump up and catch it. Anybody can go jump up and catch it, fellas. You don't believe me? Just, you know what? Just do a Photoshop, all right? For Christ's sake. Do some Photoshop on your pictures. Make yourself look like that you have some abs, all right? Make yourself look taller on Adobe Premiere Photoshop, all right? And then post them pictures on Tinder. See how many chicks are throwing their nasty-ass, funky-ass, run-through vagina at you. Now, are these the top-tier women, 8s, 9s, and 10s? Probably not. But what do we know about 8s, 9s, and 10s? Just because we see them on Instagram, everywhere we click, doesn't mean they actually walk around in public everywhere we go. So most women are average at best, just like most men are average at best. The world is occupied by mostly average people. Oh wow, shocker, right? Believe it or not, the world is occupied by mostly average people. And these average women are handing it out like frisbee out on dating apps. So we are having unlimited access to pussy and unlimited access to sex for the first time in history. So, and men, we were actually programmed to spread our seed. That's why back in the caveman era days, when we went out and captured other villages and murdered their men, we slept with their women. And we had kids in a bunch of different tribes. We needed people back then. Okay, that was an incentive. But the other incentive was our biological imperative, which is us wanting to fuck everything that walks. Every 2 minutes. We bust a nut, give us 5 minutes, our dick jumps back up, and then we go again. Yeah, we might not last for 30 minutes. We might only be able to pump for 30 seconds. But hey, my seed is still being spread, right? Because we men have that biological imperative to sleep with and to smash as many cheeks as we can. So that's why it's for our benefit that women are handing it out like that so easy, and they're actually being empowered and pushed to do so. So why wouldn't we take advantage of that? Second thing, now we men don't have to worry as much about providing for a whole big ass family, including the goddamn white golden retrievers. White golden retrievers. Did I really just say that? Yes, I did. Whatever. Yeah, including those damn dogs that our wives make us buy. We don't have to worry about providing for any of that. We don't gotta buy a $400,000 house, put down 20% of it, and keep paying mortgage with insurance. Fellas, a house is not an asset unless it's generating income for you. If you buy a property and you put tenants in there who pay your mortgage, then that becomes an asset. But if you're having to put money out of your pocket, take money out of your pocket to pay for it, that's a liability. If money is coming into your pocket from whatever it is that you have in your life, that's an asset. And if money going the other way out, that's a liability. That's your economy 101 lesson for the day. From Daddy Zeke, Professor Zeke, whatever you want to call me. Anyways, so we don't have that burden on our shoulders. Now we can buy a motorcycle. Now we can go gun shooting. Now we can go hunting. Now we can go slam dunk with the boys in the basketball court. Now we can go buy a 12-pack beer and smash it with the boys. Nobody's here to tell us what to do, how to live our life. Now we can play video games for 12 hours straight a day. I don't recommend it, but we can. We can do whatever the hell we want. Go to the gym whenever we want. You know, sometimes there's couples I've noticed where the guy's in shape and the girl looks like a butterball turkey. And she gets mad that the guy goes to the gym more than her, or the guy goes to the gym religiously every day. And he has a routine. Oh, come spend time with me, baby. You don't spend time with me at all. Why you don't gotta go to the gym today? You look good. Yeah, that one day becomes 2 days, become 3 days, become 2 weeks, become 2 months, become 6 months, and now before you know, you're joining her butterball turkey parody with her. Same thing did not happen to me. My ex was actually pretty skinny, and I kept my six-pack abs while I was dating her, but she was a skinny girl, and I was trying to get her to hit the squats and get them booty popping. But she didn't like that I wanted her to do the hard work, and she did not want me to go out and work out either. And she would shame me to leave for leaving her and going to work out. Oh, you don't spend enough time with me. And I know for a damn fact I'm not the only guy who's experienced that. Next one, fellas, is that we can now travel. Again, that goes into the second one, is that we can do whatever we want. Right? We can travel. Go wherever we want. Smash whatever culture or race of chicks we want. Man, how can you not see how great of a thing feminism was for us men? We're free, fellas. For the first time, we're literally getting all of our needs met without having to buy the cow. We're getting all of our milk that we want without having to purchase the cow. Because back then, to get sex, you had to get married. Unless you were one of those very few rare pickup artists or players. And we didn't have the YouTube for him to spread his knowledge to the rest of the brothers. But now, we don't have that. Now, let's talk about the laws. And I already briefly mentioned it already in the video. Fellas, come on now, wake up, man. How many more examples do you need to see before you wake up that, hey, this marriage thing is really not making any sense? Give me a break, man. Come on. Your whole life's worth of earning is being taken at the split of a second. Just because she said, I'm not happy. What she really means is that she got her eyes on somebody else's cock. And yours is starting to seem very, very, very small now to her. And also, fellas, how can you possibly imagine the child of your mother having 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15 cocks coming in and out of her? How can you possibly imagine that? Just imagine all these sperms that she swallowed. All these sperms swimming in her body, in her mouth. I don't care what science actually is out there to back up the fact that sperms never go away from her body 100%. I don't care if there's any scientific research done or whatever. Just the fact that just think about that for a second from an appealing standpoint. How appealing does that sound to you? That this chick has swallowed so many so many nuts in her mouth, probably inside of her, in her vagina, in her ass, wherever, you don't know. Dude's probably busted in her face, and it probably went in her nose. Ugh. Just think about that. You want that to be the mother of your children? What do you think she's going to teach your children? And you're telling me you want a pair bond with that? Let's just even forget the pair bonding aspect of you two. Let's just talk about the kids for a second, because I know a lot of you men out here want to have kids. You want that to raise your children? Really? Yeah, I don't think like some of you guys who come here and call me crazy. I don't think that sounds crazy at all to me. If you think that wifing that up and letting that raise your kids sounds normal and not insane to you, hey man, it's your life. Do what you want to do at the end of the day. I don't give a shit. Now, women, this college degree that you guys are going after, all right? I have another video coming up on that. I'm gonna show some statistics on that too. So hang on tight. Don't get your panties in a bunch yet, ladies. How much does it cost to go to a college and attend even just a public university a year? At least 15 grand, 10 to 15 grand, with books, tuition, room and board, food, transportation. I'm in college. You can't come in here and argue about this with me, all right? And I have 0 student loan debt. Why? How was I able to do that, by the way? I was decently smart, so I got scholarships. And my family came from a poor family background, so that helped a lot. The government paid me a little bit of half of my stuff, and the rest of the other half, as I said, I got some scholarships, and I worked my ass off, and every single penny I made went towards my college tuition, because I did not want to pay interest on my loans. And I drove around in a piece of crap hoopty for 3 years. How many of you guys are willing to sacrifice that much? I cut one avocado and one apple in half, saved, ate one half in the morning, and saved the other half for the next morning. That's how I saved money. How many of you guys can come in here and say that you are willing to sacrifice that much? You can't wait to go out to the dealership and buy yourself a brand new Dodge Challenger and make payments on that. Or have your daddy pay for that. So you don't know jack shit about finances. So when you take all these student loan debt out, not even realizing how much little money you're going to be making after you graduate, oh, now you want to play the victim card, the women card. Oh, I was a victim to the system. I didn't know any better. Bitch! You telling me you don't know any better about how much student loan to take out? But you can go out every single weekend and spend $8 mimosas, $7 tequila shots, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of them every single weekend? Really? That's what you're telling me? You're telling me you want to go shopping twice a month and flood your closet with clothes? Half of these clothes are not even washed. You only wear it one time and you just throw it in your closet. Your closet smells like a goddamn dead raccoon. Fix your closet, ladies. Y'all are a living mess. Some of y'all ladies, oh man, your apartment looks worse than the garbage bin in my house. Fix that shit. That's nasty. So you are wasting your whole life, or I should say, you're wasting your whole prime time. The time when you should be out here wanting to settle down, wanting to high value man. But hey, do what you want to do. It's your life, ladies. As I said with my men, do what you want. I'm going to say the same thing with you guys. Do what you want to do. You think you can go ahead and get that bag? Go ahead and get that bag. Let me see how that works out for you. Show me some stats first of all on how many women actually are successful and not a slave to the system. It's one thing to get a 9-to-5 job and being a slave to the system, and it's a completely different thing when you're your own boss and you're living in a luxury lifestyle. It's a different thing, completely different thing than living a luxury lifestyle based on a 9-to-5 slave job that you're doing, living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, you're making 70 grand a year, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck because you're an impulsive shopper. And fellas, you want to marry these things up, these hoes up. That's what you're telling me. That's why the marriage just doesn't make sense for us men. And fellas, love is not a real thing. Ladies, love is not a real thing. My own mother told me that. I have met tons of females who told me that. This is not just my opinion. You don't trust me? Go ask married men. Don't ask unmarried men. How the hell would they be able to answer that to you? Don't ask couples even who've been dating for 6-7 years, because they haven't been married yet. If a couple have been living together for 6-7 years, however, yeah, go ask them that. See what they say about love. Okay? My mother told me that love goes away after the first 4 years. I say after the first 2 years of marriage. My mother came from a very traditional background. So if she says that she as a traditional woman says that traditional backgrounded women can't last love with you for more than 4 years, then what makes you think these modern thoughts who are thoughting themselves out on IG, on OnlyFans, on TikTok, on Snapchat would be able to love you longer than 2 years? Think about these things, fellas. I've given you so many points on this video to think about. I would have even considered telling you guys to marry even after all of this if the laws were not even in our favor, but at least fair. At least if the laws were fair to us. You come in and see your wife sucking some other dude's cock off, and you want a divorce, but she still takes half of your stuff, and you still got to pay her alimony. Why? She's making her own 50, 60 grand a year, but she's still getting money from you. Why? It's one thing if she was a broke bitch who was just a housewife and didn't make any money, don't have any college degree, nothing, and you're supporting her. That's one thing. And she stayed with you long enough, and she supported you. But for some reason, the marriage just fell apart. Maybe because you cheated on her too, because men out there cheating on their wives too. I'm not giving all men a free pass. Yeah, that makes sense if you're supporting your wife, if she's been a good wife to you. But if she is giving you nothing but headache and sassiness and bitchiness, because that's what happens when you get married, fellas. Now she knows is that she has you by your balls, because you can't go anywhere. Don't believe me? Ask a married man. See how trapped he feels, and only ask him when his kids and family is not around him, because he has to save face, right? He got to save face. So when you have that much money, or when you have created your life from bottom up, and you're at a successful position right now in life, maybe you're in your 30s or late 30s or early 40s or whatever, you have had plenty of experiences with women, and still women want you. Women your age and younger than you want you. Then why would you get married and settle with only one woman? Because it is not in our biological imperative to be sleeping with only one woman. So you're going against your biological needs. How do I know that? Because married men always look around. And I know for a damn fact married men watch porn too, while they have a booty at home. Why? Because they get tired of smashing the same thing. That's just how we men were how we were wired. This is not shallow, ladies. I'm not Mother Nature. Mother Nature made me like that. So you're going against your biological imperative. You're going against your financial imperative, because she rules your bank account now. Whatever is yours is hers. Whatever is hers is hers. Lil Wayne said it in that song Loyal. You're all about hers and she's all about hers. He said it perfect. So you're going against all these imperatives, all these norms that's actually normal for you, just to get married. Why? It doesn't make sense. Because you want to be that perfect man for society? Fuck that noise. Tell me that when you're 65, 70 years old, or 80, 90, 100 years old, in your deathbed. Tell me, when you're on your deathbed, that old, are you going to be thinking about what society has thought of you when you're about to die? Is society is going to be there to save you when you're about to die? No. Then why the hell does it matter what society tells you? Think outside the box. Which is one of the elements that requires for you to be a real man. I don't want to say an alpha male, masculine man, whatever, just a real man. a man's man. Because we men are the kings, we're the kings, and will always be the kings. We men were the leaders, are the leaders, and will always be the leaders. We might not be able to lead anybody else's life or any society, but we'll always be able to lead our own damn life. And don't let any fucking body take that right away from you. Don't you ever fucking dare to let anybody take that away from you. Follow me on Instagram. God damn it. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, stay classy.